In less than 1 year, I generated one of my clients $354,000 in cash and over $500,000 in revenue using the simple profile funnel that I'm gonna be breaking down in this video. Now, just for some context, when I started working with Oli, all he had was an Instagram account with less than 2,000 followers, one case study, and a poorly structured offer. So it's fair to say we pretty much built everything from zero. Now, before I go into this breakdown, I want you to understand why I chose the profile funnel for his coaching business. I believe it matches how people buy online in 2026. We all know that trust is at an all-time low, and people need to watch between 1 to 7 hours of content before they ever make a high-ticket buying decision, especially when it comes to B2C with these make money online offers. Now, when I'm onboarding a new client, I always like to understand in which stage of awareness his dream clients are. Obviously, we know that the ladder goes from unaware to problem aware to solution aware to product aware, and then at the end we have most aware. And the offer he was selling was appointment setting for men between like 18 to 30 who are working like part-time or like 9 to 5 jobs and want to get into the online space, start traveling the world and get this freedom. And what we've seen is that like most of these guys were aware of their problems but usually weren't aware of the solution. And this looks something like this. They were saying, I want to make money online but I have no clue how. So essentially they knew the pain but didn't know that like any solutions exist yet. And some of the guys already like knew appointment setting and they knew they can start making money online with it, but they just didn't know how or like where to start. They essentially knew the solution but didn't know the system or like who to learn it from. Now the way that I got this information was firstly through getting all the transcripts from sales calls and plugging that into Claude, getting the information from there, and also looking at the DMs and seeing what kind of questions are these people asking, or even commenting below the reels. These are the best two sources to get the information and to understand the market. Now, another important thing before I go into this entire breakdown is creating a marketing angle for the offer. And with Oli, we decided to go with learn a high value skill, not a get rich quick scheme. Like when it comes to profile funnels, you should either go against the entire industry or niche down. So in this case, Oli went against the entire industry and we positioned him as the genuine guy. But another option would be, for example, if you're a high ticket sales coach, instead of just targeting the entire market, you would just target existing sales reps, or you would target like corporate sales guys and helping to get into the like remote sales side of things, or you would help like postgraduates, or you would only help like specifically 9 to 5ers. So this is like ways you could niche down and get very, very specific with your offer. But yeah, Oli went essentially against the industry, which were all these like gurus who were flexing cars, going heavy on lifestyle, and we really positioned him as a genuine guy. And yeah, it absolutely fucking ripped. Obviously, as you can see by the screenshot, from September till June we were able to generate $350,000 in cash. Now, one of the easiest ways to find your marketing angle is by implementing an onboarding forum. Now, this is something I talked about in my previous video as well, but I wanted to just mention it again because it's extremely, extremely important. Essentially, feel free to pause the video and screenshot this exact question that you're seeing on the screen. But this is something that you're gonna implement in your onboarding process. So right before you have the first call with your new client, they need to fill this out. And in one of the questions, they're gonna reply, there are other online coaches. Why did you choose me? And this is essentially gonna show you what is fundamentally different about you from every other competitor in your market and why people decide to pay you $2, $3, $5, $10, $20,000 for your coaching. And then you're going to be able to obviously lean into that. And with Oli, this is exactly what happened. We sent out an onboarding forum to, I believe, 20 or 30 of his existing students, and they all said that the reasons why they loved and were attracted to even work with Oli was because he was super genuine, he didn't flex all the time, and he just provided a shit ton of value, was relatable. And this is why we looked at the data, we didn't just come up with this marketing angle from our head, and decided to position his offer this way and go against the entire industry. Now, let's talk about the organic content, and yeah, let's get into this breakdown that I prepared for you guys today. Now, when it comes to his brand, as you can see, even today, he has just 10,000 followers, but my goal was never for him to like blow up and be an absolute influencer. I wanted to build a profitable personal brand with a very qualified following. Is the thing that I do essentially with every single one of my clients. Even if you go check like Thomas, or there's a bunch of other guys who all have between 10 to 20, 30,000 followers. Nothing more than that, but they're all making multiple six figures, close to even seven figures per year with their coaching businesses. Because the amount of followers, we all know, or even the amount of views doesn't relate to the amount of money that you're going to be making. It's all about intent behind it. So yeah. When it comes to organic content, I'm going to break this down into three different pillars. We have obviously top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, and bottom of the funnel content. Now, the thing that I want you to understand is that we're not just trying to speak to your dream followers or your ICP. When it comes to top of the funnel content, we want to speak to your dream followers, who are essentially fans who have the exact same values and kind of direction in life as you have. Because when you post an Instagram reel, like this is just how the algorithm works. It's usually gonna get pushed to around 100 to 200 views. And if you're only making content for your dream client / your ICP, like only 5% of those people at most are gonna engage with it. Now, what this means is that the other 95 people are just gonna skip past. It doesn't relate to them, so they have no reason to watch the video in the first place. And what this means is Instagram is gonna see that and they're like, okay, this video shit, I'm not gonna push it, and you're gonna plateau at 200, 300, 500, maybe 1000 views, and you're not really gonna get any growth. So when it comes to top of the funnel content, of course we wanna prioritize views, but speaking to your dream follower, which are people with the same values as you have. And again, you don't need to guess what kind of angles you should approach it. Look at your onboarding forum, look at the data that you have here, and lean into that. And this is exactly what we've done with Oli. As I said multiple times before, the reasons why people decided to buy into Oli, this was pulled straight from onboarding forums, is because he's genuine, he doesn't flex, he takes care of his family, he's relatable, and obviously he's living the life that they want to live. And what we've done is leaned exactly into that. We made a video where he had a very sick background. I think he was in South America, calling his brother and getting his live reaction to him making 60K at 20. So it was, yeah, when he hit that record month. And obviously at the end of this video, obviously it was super genuine video, but at the end he also told his brother that he's gonna fly him out, which was just a thing that everybody was saying in the comments and really made him stand out. And then another video where he was surprising his brother with a brand new MacBook and then kind of helped him get into the appointment setting space. So these two videos, as you can see, they were speaking to the dream follower, people who have the same values as Oli, but it was broad. It reached, yeah, all, like this one, close to 300k views, little over 200k views, and it attracted a bunch of his dream followers that then started consuming more of his like middle of the funnel and bottom of the funnel content and slowly got converted. And yeah, this was all, as I said, made based on the data that we got from an onboarding forum. Now, moving on to the middle of the funnel content. The thing that I want you to remember is that show marketing is a lot more powerful than telemarketing. Like, even in B2C, with these make money online offers, like people are so sophisticated, they're becoming more and more aware of what appointment setting is, what high ticket sales is, what Amazon FBA is, that like you just need to show them that you're competent, that you can get results, and then you need to essentially like lead them so they get to their own conclusion. If you're just gonna be telling them stuff, nobody believes it anymore. So what this means and the formats that we've been able to execute this through were these roadmap sessions, extremely powerful, when essentially Oli signed a new client. He decided to like meet up with him in person and essentially told him how he can scale to 5k per month and gave him a full roadmap from start to finish. And through these videos, like again, as I said, Oli is positioned as an authority, somebody that knows exactly what he's doing, and also he's in flow state. This is one of the best things. He already has a conversation with a client, he's already providing him value, and then there's just a camera sitting on a side filming the entire conversation. We're not like engineering some random stuff that's fully scripted, it's just captured right there in the moment. And then obviously another format that works amazing is in-person case studies, which, just showcase that he's competent again and he can get people results, for example, from 0 to 5k, from 0 to 10k. And it's really helping these guys make money online and get into this space. And also the freedom. This was, for example, filmed in Greece. Now, the best thing about this middle of the funnel content is that it can all get clipped up into short form content. Like these roadmap sessions can get into 2 to 3 clips, even more sometimes. This also gets clipped into like a montage, couple of clips. So you don't really need to put any extra work in. You really prioritize your YouTube channel, and that's what we've done with Oli. Really prioritize the YouTube heavily, and then obviously just clipped everything up into short form. It's a strategy that all the people in the online space, like if you look at Nick's settings, Sue, all these big guys, they're all doing exactly that, prioritizing YouTube and then just clipping it all up. Now, obviously, the last thing is bottom of the funnel content, and when it comes to this, you essentially just need to list out all the objections that people are having before they work with you, and then try to overcome them. Now, the best way to even find them in the first place is obviously by hosting team calls and listening to what your appointment setter and closer are saying, and also grabbing the transcripts of those calls, dumping it into Claude, and then obviously seeing, okay, these are the objections, listing them out, and then you need to find a value front-facing format and completely break their beliefs. Now, the best way we found to do that is by Oli linking with one of his other competitors who's also like a market leader in the appointment setting niche. So they kind of borrowed each other's authority, and also it pulled both of their audiences together. And they decided to film a podcast, and we very carefully structured all the questions. So every single one of the objections were addressed. But it is a value front-facing video, which is a lot more entertaining to watch. Now, one of the things I want to mention, going back to the middle of the funnel content, is make sure to detach from views. This is like one of the biggest things that I want you to understand. Like, look at these videos, 400 views, close to 500 views. But the point of middle of the funnel content is get people to trust you, not to pull them into your funnel. So really, detach from views, because the point of this content, as I said, is to build trust. But when it comes to like top of the funnel content, this is where we want to generate and attract your dream followers. But for middle of the funnel content, we want to trust, build the trust and nurture the fuck out of them. Now, obviously, when it comes to building Oli's business, we didn't want to just rely on organic content because it can be unpredictable on certain days. So that's why we decided to implement paid ads as well. And as I said in the beginning of this video, most of his market was problem aware, but they weren't solution aware yet. So essentially what they were saying is like, I want to make money online, but I literally have no clue how to get started. So essentially, they knew the pain, but didn't know any solutions yet. So when it comes to follower ads, we decided to obviously fully script it. We didn't like boost any reels or whatsoever, and decided to make a very educational ads, bringing people closer to knowing what appointment setting is, really understanding it, and obviously telling them to drop a follow if they wanna learn more. And this absolutely ripped. I think we put like close to 7,000 pounds into this ad, and it generated us over $100,000 from this single ad alone. But the reason for that is because we understand, okay, this is the stage of awareness his market is. Let's make an ad specifically tailored to that stage of awareness and extremely relatable to their situation. So like his dream followers literally feel like, oh, this guy gets my situation. He knows exactly where I am at the moment, and obviously then they decide to drop him a follow. And as soon as obviously they dropped the follow, they were hit with retargeting ads as well, which were simply just testimonial ads. Now we experimented with a couple of different formats. First, we clipped up case studies, which we got like through middle of the funnel content. We clipped up this in a very specific way, or we also make like breakdown videos, example, simply like Oli breaking down how he made this guy 4K last month, or like how he made another guy 10K last month, and then yeah, introducing appointment setting and really showcasing how he got these guys from point A to point B. And these were all the retargeting ads we ever ran, and it absolutely ripped. Obviously then the setter reached out and the things continued. So yeah, let's break down how the actual like sales conversations were happening, how everything on the sales side of things was structured. The thing when it comes to the profile funnel is that the sales cycle is a bit longer, but I'm gonna share with you in the next few minutes the way we were able to overcome this and really book people in after just a day or two of sending them an opener. Because we all know that when it comes to the standard profile funnel, some people have a conversation in the DMs for like, I don't know, 7 days, 14 days, and then you have to follow up and chase, and they get busy and they stop replying. But we found a way around that, and as I said before, we were able to then book these people in on the first or the second day after sending over the opener. So how did the actual setting process go? Obviously the setter dropped the first opener, and after they replied, they were just a bit qualified to see what they're doing, but it was very indirect qualification, not asking them like how much money do you have, but just figuring out like, do they work a job, are they in college, just very indirect qualification, because Meta's getting stricter and stricter when it comes to like the words, especially around like money and stuff like that in the DMs. So you have to be quite indirect if you don't want any like restrictions or bans on your account. And after that, the setter proposed a quick dialing call, which is that shift that we made, and yeah, it was an absolute game changer. On that dialing call, we essentially compressed a week of setting that would go over in the DMs just on that like 2 to 5 minute long call. And if they were obviously a good fit and they were qualified, we booked them in through Calendly on WhatsApp. Obviously if they weren't, we would just downsell them to like a low ticket community that Oli has on schools. So yeah, when it comes to his offer, we were pushing two different things, low ticket and high ticket, but high ticket was the front end, low ticket was essentially the downsell for people who are DQs. It wasn't like promoted on social media at all. Now obviously after people book in, they were hit with an SMS right after they booked to confirm the call, then 24 hours before and 1 hour before, and they were also like added to a WhatsApp group. And in there, the closer introduced himself, obviously the dialer made it with him, and yeah, they were just nurtured with long form assets there, and really kind of getting them to a stage of being pre-sold or like objection-less. So all these closes were pretty much laydowns. Now obviously not every single one of them, but we tried to get to that as close as possible. Now obviously then the sales call was hosted, and obviously as you can see the money was pouring through. Some of them were PIF, some of them were payment plans, and obviously some of them were low ticket as well. Now you understand the exact marketing and sales structure we had in place to generate $354,000 in less than 1 year, but something that most people never talk about is the team structure and how the stuff is ran in the backend. Nobody actually shows that, but as always, I'm extremely transparent and want to show you. We managed everything through a Discord server, which is an absolute game changer, because you can see the entire team's performance in one place. You can see exactly what's happening on content side, what's happening in the setting, what's happening in the closing. Obviously we have the important section here on top, and everybody in the business can just have an overview very transparently what's going on, like what are the payments that are coming through, the booked calls that are coming through, and it just allows everybody to operate with speed, which is one of the most important things. Obviously through here we were organizing like team calls, and literally everything was happening through this. I found the Discord works way better than Slack or like some sort of like WhatsApp groups. Like this is really what you need, and this is something that we build out for every single one of the clients I work with. And obviously the last thing is tracking data. As I said, when it comes to finding your marketing angle, when it comes to your content, you should never act on your emotions or just see, alright, yeah, let me think of some ideas. What should I post today? What should I fix today? Like, you always need to be looking at data and making decisions based on that. Now, obviously, when I onboard every single one of my clients, they get access to a custom software that we build out for them. And in part of that software, there is this tracking tool that we have in place, and this really shows us all the numbers. Obviously, on top we just have the basics, but then we have the closer performance, the setter performance. Here they can submit the EODs, and we literally see everything: cash collected, revenue, cash per call, booked appointment, closed deal, show rate, average deal size, close rate, no-show rate, qualification rate, unqualification rate, unqualified calls, qualified calls, like literally all the numbers that we need to see. And then we can really pinpoint, okay, is show up rate the problem? Is the close rate the problem? And we can then tailor the marketing to help with that, and obviously also look at the sales process and fix it. This is an absolute game changer, and yeah, every single one of my clients that works with me gets access to this software where everything gets tracked for them through EODs. So yeah, this is the most important part, because like, especially when you start making 20, 30, 50k per month, like there are certain patterns that's going to be happening over and over again. And if you don't spot the problem, it's going to be just leaking you money, and you're going to be losing a bunch of money until you fix it. And this is really the best way to just kind of analyze your entire business, make decisions based on that, and yeah, fix the problems that you're having, so the entire sales side of things is running smoothly. Now, if you're sitting there thinking to yourself, "Alright, Martin, this breakdown was amazing. I know exactly what I need to do, but I don't want to spend the next like 6 to 12 months figuring it all out," and you want me to build out this entire profile funnel completely done for you. So all you have to do is just fill in content and close deals that are on your calendar. There is a link in the description below where you can book in a one-on-one call with me. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and yeah, if there's any questions, just leave them in the comments below. Also, if you want, you can message me on Instagram, but I just want to say that I lost my main Instagram account, so the only one that I have currently is a company account. But yeah, if there's any questions, just message me there. Other than that, I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Peace.